I agree. I mean, it's depressing because I keep going to shows and no one goes out anymore. Like, we have tons of venues out here and no one goes out to concerts anymore. Why should people, not stay at home and watch American Idol, House, or the news? Why should they come out to your show?
Well, I think that people are, innately lazy, and aside from the fact that some people may not be able to afford to come to shows, I just, it's like an inconvenience, especially when you can pretty much enjoy almost every aspect of a band or music on your computer. You can essentially see a show, although it's not at all the same thing, but I think that it's just a matter of becoming spoiled and oversaturated with and over bombarded with music and information. People are just sometimes would rather pretend to play music on a video game or something. I don't know. Maybe they should invent a game where you are a concert attender and you can buy merch.
Oh God!
And we'll be the band that stars in the video game. They'll make the game about us.
Hey, it could happen. I've seen weirder shit. I was at Target yesterday, and I'm so old. They have air guitar now. Now that's weird for me. Guitar Hero invented this game where you play air guitar. Pick up a guitar, kids. Play bullshit music.
I always said that if you're gonna play Tony Hawk for 10 hours a day, you might as well learn to skateboard in real life, because that's an insane amount of learning potential. You could literally be as good as Tony Hawk in real life if you worked on it 10 hours a day every day. But who knows?
So what were some of the bands that inspired you as a kid, or even now? What are some of the bands?
Well, when I first started getting into punk music, I remember a day specifically where a kid that I went to school with had recently moved into town, and his older brother was total punk rocker, and we all thought he was super cool. So my friend would borrow tapes from him and bring them to my house, and we would record them and stuff. And that's how I would find out about music, and then I would be like, oh, the Exploited, I'll go buy 5 Exploited records now. But there was a day where he brought over an Exploited tape and a Run DMC tape the same day, which was totally weird, but I've got a little bit of a hankering for some old school hip-hop.
Hip-hop back in the day was, there's a couple artists now that are still really good.
Yeah, well, Public Enemy is one of my all-time favorite, most inspirational bands. I still like a lot of old punk, The Clash and Dead Kennedys, and kind of staple punk 101 bands. And then a lot of Coxbar and Sham 69 and stuff like that. And then there's a more modern brand of that kind of punk that I like the Briefs and the Hives I like. And, I don't know, not necessarily inspired, I guess.
Well, no, it's just music you like.
Bands I like.
Because I listen to so much stuff. It's I dig you guys. I dig you guys. I mean, I don't pertain to a genre. The first punk record I got was probably The Clash, and of course the staple, the Sex Pistols.
Yeah. The first show that I ever saw was the Circle Jerks in 7 seconds.
Oh God, I had
my first stage dive for 7 seconds.
Oh, I remember I had a sneak to go see the Circle Jerks, and what was funny about it is they're playing a venue up here called the Huntridge Theater, and probably 30 minutes before their sound check, the roof collapsed.
Really?
So they played a concert in the parking lot.
Wow, that's awesome.
See, you guys, when you go out to shows, you have experiences.
Yeah, instead of you tell stories later on.
It makes you feel old, but appreciative of life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the things that was exciting about music at that, when I was first discovering punk and all these different kind of things that I didn't know about at the time, and like learning about all these other aspects of like, you know, politics or whatever, like just like kind of underground ideas and stuff like that. What was exciting about it was that it wasn't like easy to find out, and not a lot of people knew about it, so it was almost like, for me and my friends that were into it, it was almost like a contest to see who could like discover like this new band, or like order a record from like the back of Maximum Rock and Roll, and like you know you're basically sending like $7 in an envelope to Europe, and like 2.5 months later you get a 7-inch, you know, like that was just like really exciting. And like finding out about shows, you know, you couldn't just go on the internet, like there was no internet then.
I remember bands actually passed out flyers.
Yeah. And my another reason is where I grew up, there wasn't a huge like scene. It was like a smaller city, so it wasn't like, you know, there wasn't like touring bands coming through all the time, so we would have to travel like 2 hours just to see a show. And I think that kind of like willingness to like seek something out so much and get excited by it was, you know, that's sort of, I can see and understand how nowadays it can easily be lost, because there's no real reason, you know, like it's so easy to find out about stuff, and that's not necessarily bad. You know, it's a positive, but like, you know, just like with anything, as you get older, like there's things about like the new versions that bum you out. But you know, I think for us, you know, and like as a band, it's important to like, you know, kind of keep up with things and like not get jaded. Like that's really difficult as a band once you're, you know, like you're around for like 3 years and people are like, oh, you guys are still together? It's like, dude, like
didn't you like the music?
It's like, geez, man, like, but it just goes to show like it's really easy to start a band and have people be able to hear it within a short amount of time, you know, like whereas back, you know, when I was playing in a band like years ago, it would take like, you know, and 2 months to make a record, and then like 5 months for it to come out, and like, you know, you can tour on it for like 2 years because like people are still discovering it like that amount of time later, you know. So who knows? It's just, it's hard work, but you know, if you're doing it for the right reasons and because you can find joy in like the simplest aspects of it, it's worth it, you know. Like if you can get stoked on playing a show for 5 people, you know, which we've definitely done, and then, you know, and treat it the same way you treat a show where you play in front of 500 people or 5,000 people, which we've also done those things too. And it's like there's things about those that are different, but reasons why they're still all equally cool, you know. Does that make sense?
I am so blown away because you are like one of my favorite artists that I got to do a sit down with. Like seriously, like most of the times you get bands who just kind of sit there and go, yeah, well fuck them, who cares?
No, I mean, I don't know. I'm glad that you said that. That's awesome.
Really,
yeah.
I love the record. You guys should go buy Everybody Making Some Noise. Did I say it right?
Everybody makes some noise.
Yeah. It's on Metropolis Records.
Yeah.
And check the A.K.A.S out on MySpace, Per Volume, and their website, www.theakkas.com.
That's right.
And thanks for riding the little yellow bus with me, because I'm a retard.